Hello and welcome back to Oak City. This is the Plains and Prairies playthrough on Farming Simulator 25. We are here with episode 9. Today we are going to go out and see if we can get some planting in. It is February, so a little early. We do still have snow on the ground, but it is warming up and that is going to start to melt this month. We do have more weather and stuff moving in, so we are kind of limited in what we can get done or the amount of time we're going to have to get it done, because it does look like once the weather comes in it's going to stay for the rest of the month. We do have some goals for this month. We are going to get some new equipment, new planter. We're going to go with some Plains and Prairie equipment, so we are going to do that. We are going to try to get one field in with this before we get rid of it, so we'll see how things are going with that. I don't think we're going to get a lot of harvesting in just with the snow and the weather, but we'll just have to see how things kind of come out. Otherwise, we should get through February pretty decently and then be on to bigger, better things or better weather in March is the hope. Snake our way through the snow here. We are going to head up. I think first order of business is going to be to try to get in our grass field. We do have product to sell, so we should make a little bit of money, just about at $500,000 now, but then that's going to go really fast with the new equipment, so no stockpile of cash, that's for sure. Just snow everywhere. What are you doing? You crazy bus? Okay, so obviously I'm probably driving on the wrong side of the road, but no plowed roads. You'd think the guy could chill. This tractor definitely not winning any super races. We are going to go try to see if we can get in the grass field before we get rid of this. This planter, obviously being a mod, plants pretty much anything that a seeder or a planter would normally plant. It's not the crazy heavily modded, but before we get rid of this one, we are going to go try to seed the grass field. We could use this for like everything we want to plant this month. We could use this, quite frankly, for anything we're going to plant for a very long time, but I would like to turn around and get over to using the other planter, so that's going to be the idea here. That one just will not put in it won't put in grass, so we're going to throw in the grass first. Is going to be the thought there. Alright, so easy enough. We'll go find the grass. Oops, of course we passed it. Grass, there we are. Easy enough. To be honest, I don't think I've ever tried to plant in snow, so we'll just have to see how this goes. Alright, let's get in position here, get this unfolded. This really is probably my favorite planter, mods and all, so getting rid of it's is kind of a little weird, because really I just normally keep this thing and do tons with it, because it does a really good job of just about everything and holds a ton. So it's nice like that. What? It didn't. Yeah, okay. We're good. Everything's good. It just did that because it rolled it. I got it. Okay. So we can drop that, hit that. be a little hard to see the GPS in this, but for the most part I think we're doing everything. We see the fertilizers going down, grass is going down, and we're rolling all in one here, so it seems to be working okay anyway. Turning the field not into snow. We're working that moisture into the ground. Not gonna worry about it too much. Honestly, everything is starting to thaw, so, or will be starting to thaw. The idea there, this tractor not super overpowered for doing this, but it will get it done. And that's all we're really mainly concerned with. Alright, let's get you somewhere close enough there. And get that going. There we go. Fence line is not giving us a lot of extra room to move in here. But for the most part, it's going to keep things from driving across most of the fields too. This field obviously being grass, we wouldn't be that worried about it. But everywhere else, it'll be nice for that. Somewhere in there should be good. Go. Doing the work that needs to be done. We will get in this outer hedgerow here and see all what we have for a field. This should produce quite a bit of grass, obviously. If we have decent yields on it, at any rate, we should have a good outcome with this. Go. We should have a decent track on the field there. Yeah. Turn green. Good to go. Looking good. Looking sharp. Again, this is just a little 12-acre plot. We're not losing a lot to the borders, so it is, you know, at least a good 12 acre, pretty close to 12 proper acres. We'll say at least 11, which should get us up and running for the cattle here for quite a while until we have more cattle. Alright, we have plenty of room to do what we need to do here. No worries. Alright, so I will go ahead and get the rest of this planted, and then we'll check back in with you there. So here we are headed out of there. We did get the grass field planted. We do now have these other two fields to plant, and I guess I keep going back and forth with which planter to actually use. We could just keep on using this one with everything that we have. It works out great. I almost hate the decision to get rid of it, but we are going to go with the Plains and Prairies setup. I think we can turn around and run that rig. Let's just take a quick look here. Let's see, horsepower. Yeah, we have enough horsepower to run it, not by a ton. So I guess it could be interesting, but we will give that one a shot and see how that goes. So we'll take this in And for now, we'll get rid of it. If anything, we could always rebuy it. I'm sure we will rebuy it back eventually. These things just turn around and cover so much ground with so much ease for what they are that it's hard to argue against it. It's good to see the rest of the traffic not having any hard time there with the snow. But yeah, let's get this. We'll get back and then we will pick up our new purchase there. Here we are with the new purchase all hooked up and ready to go. So we have it on the Versatile. That is the new big planter. There you go. The Tempo K24. Big planter. Thing looks like it's a behemoth. Auger to fill it. Looks like it holds a ton. Actually, I wouldn't say that at all. It just depends on kind of how you look at it. It does haul quite a bit compared to some of the base game stuff for sure. Obviously, it's a base game planter, realistic planter, so not crazy, super unrealistic numbers out of this one at any rate. But we are definitely going to give it a shot on the tracks, or it comes on tracks, I guess is what I'm saying. Should be an interesting combination here. This tractor has 400 horsepower. I think the requirement on it's 365. So we have enough, not an overabundance, but it should be enough to run it. For now, we definitely do need to upgrade some tractors. We have, at least by selling off the old one and getting this one, we didn't turn around and go through a ton of money. So we do still have some options. This tractor is maybe barely going to get this done. At least lugging it through the snow. That's for sure. If that's our entrance just into the driveway, I don't know how well that bodes for actually working out in the fields. But I guess we'll give it a shot and see what we get. We are going to be coming up on getting the last couple of big tractors out of the plains and prairies sometime soon-ish. It just kind of depends on where our money goes. Alright, we can get some more seed in there. So there we go, 5,300 on the seed. Probably get some more fertilizer in here as well. There we go, making it easy to load. Oh, actually, it holds quite a bit of fertilizer, I guess. Here we go. It's not bad. Maybe we could hold... I always hold a bit more, but this should do okay. This actually holds quite a bit, I think, compared to the base game version of that Kinsey. I think it's only like 25, 27, 2,800, something like that. So, hauling quite a bit. Not sure how much of it's the snow and just how much of it's the weight or the horsepower thing here. So, at least with where our money's at, we would not be out of the realm of stepping up to a bigger tractor. But that's going to cut back our ability to buy more land, that's for sure. And we definitely wouldn't mind working some more land as we're getting up. I mean, we were at like $500,000. We haven't sold our stuff off for this month yet, so we should have some money laying around, though we're definitely not going to have the windfall that we had last month with our bioplastic stuff. I'm sure that has not produced that much. Alright, fields we have to plant. I think we have to plant this one right here. So without wasting any time or anything else, we are just going to jump right in there. We are going to have to buy a roller now too, as in our other modded planter had the invisible modded roller on the back, and we did turn around and sell that right along with the planter. Went as a package deal. Oops. Get this one unfolded for the first time. Looks cool. I have to say, I like the look of this one. I'm not sure exactly where the edge of the field is in here. Where is the edge of the field? Let's get this turned on. We'll do 2 hedgerows. It isn't going to matter if we do 2 hedgerows or 1, so we might as well just do 1. We're sitting pretty much right on it, so actually good to go. Right there, this field is our bigger of the 2. I do think we are going to run corn in this one. Let's get that turned on. It says that we're planting. Does not turn over the snow. Oh, I suppose because we are not rolling. No, the other one was doing it anyway, even in the plant. This one is not, however, so that's going to make for an interesting plant, as we're not going to see the ground changing here at all. Well, that's going to be interesting for sure. Is there a hitch? So this does not have... I don't see a hook up on the back of this one. Bit of a bummer. Although we don't have enough tractor actually to pull any other kind of implement with this, even if we had it. So it is working in the snow. It's definitely not turning over the snow, so that's going to be a bit different for sure. I don't think it's going to matter. It's probably not going to make it the prettiest looking plant job at all, so there's that, I guess. And I suppose we could just go in and turn off. Isn't there like a... we could just turn off snow? What does that do? It's not going to just turn off. It's not going to just get rid of the snow. It's just going to make it not snow anymore, probably. We'll turn that back on. We don't care. This is what it is. Oh, sure. Oh, we turned back on. We turned off the snow, turned the snow back on, and then it disappeared. Alright, well, that's fine. We'll take it. It's going to give us the break we need to actually get our stuff planted, so let's do that. And now we can see the ground, so that's a winner. Honestly, never switched off the snow before. I've just always had the snow on, and what it is, what it is. That was interesting. Alright, drop the plow. I'm not sure why we have that cube out there where it doesn't show lime. Awkward. Maybe just how it got plowed. Not totally sure. But we're going to get it planted. That's the goal. This planter doing the thing. I guess we'll take some sights off of the planter. It does look better now that it is not in the snow, so that's fine. I didn't know it was that easy to get rid of. Alright. Get it up there. Planter does work really nice. Be great when we have a little extra horsepower to burn instead of just being on the limit. That is for certain. Whoop, 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 whoop. We're losing the row. I think that's going to be good enough. I hope we don't get that very edge corner. We're not gonna stress out about that one too much. Alright, so that getting done. Good to go. This planter seems to have a lot less like crazy flex in it and stuff like that. It seems a little more sturdy, or a little less flexible. I shouldn't say sturdy. Probably a little less flexible though. Take a look from inside the cab. Not a bad looking tractor here. Not a ton of headroom, actually. Look back at the planter. A lot of fields to plant. Well, not a lot of fields to plant. A lot of acreage to plant for early, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's always tough to say. You know, whatever. 65 acres is pretty good for right off the bat initial planting, anyway. At least as far as I'm concerned. I know it's not a ton there. Fields way bigger and all that, right? But not a bad start, I guess, to get going. We are going to have to figure out a roller for sure. The cedar is actually going to be nice to get a hold of, I think. Once we get used to running it. The tracks obviously make it handle a little bit different, but it seems pretty steady and actually pretty easy to line up all that stuff. So it's going to be a little different for now. But I think overall this is going to be a pretty good keeper, especially if you're looking for something with the realistic levels and whatnot on it. This seems to actually do a pretty good job here. Obviously not going to cover the same kind of acreage we would with the other modded planter that we had, but and there is the fact that we have to roll separately. But for the most part, not too much to complain about with this, actually. Winner. Alright, well, with that, I think that takes us around the field. We've kind of gotten a good look at, what kind of coverage we're going to get out of the thing and how it looks working in the field, which I definitely give it 2 thumbs up so far. Awesome. Only one drawback, obviously. If anything, it'd be cool if you had a hitch and extra horsepower to turn around and roll at the same time, but we don't have that. So it is what it is. We will be picking up a roller and bringing that out to the field here as well. So with that, we're going to just kind of get this one planted, and then we will check back in. So in between getting this planted here, we did turn around and take a break on the planter, went and picked up our other little versatile tractor there, and did pick up a roller. Plan is going to be to turn around and stick this one, I don't think this is as wide as our planter, so we shouldn't have a problem getting this thing out here in the field and letting it go to town. Ooh, we are all over the place currently. Get this somewhat lined up where we want it to, see if we can get it to take off. And then I think we will turn around and go ahead and stick this one on the AI worker. Work the headlands on. Start with the headlands because that's where we already started. I didn't even know we shouldn't have. But for this time, that's what we're going to do. See if that gets that going, and then we'll jump back in here. And send this down. See if we can keep the planter ahead of the roller is going to be the idea, but we can get kind of a 2-for-1 where we no longer can turn around and plant and roll at the same time. I mean, we still can, we just need to use more equipment, and it's going to cost us a little bit of money, obviously, having a worker do some of the work, but that's just what it is to get through currently. And we know, that we are definitely going to be using AI workers as we go along. We can't always have people in the fields when we need help in the fields, and eventually this farm is going to take quite a bit to keep it moving. So inevitable, we might as well just get on with it, you know, is the thinking there. Plus it gives us a chance to actually have 2 tractors in the field. Doesn't look like this one's going to have too hard a time staying ahead of it. Now it's working faster than it, and we have a pretty good head start, so I don't think we'll have too many problems overall, as long as that thing follows the main idea of what it's supposed to be doing as it should be doing it. We shouldn't have a problem. Yeah, we definitely could increase the horsepower here, so that may be something that we're going to have to look into, is upsizing the tractor. Though this, of all of the Plains and Prairies tractor, is the one that I would keep, but we are asking it to pull a pretty hefty planter here, though it's doing the job, just not doing it with a lot of extra horsepower, but that's okay, you know, for now. That's all we need. So as you can see the operation going here, we do now have the 2 tractors running and getting things done. So I guess we will go ahead and keep working at this, and then we'll check back in. So here we are with what should be the last pass of the field. As you can see, the roller is still off in the distance, putting in some work. That obviously not one of the bigger rollers. You know, base game weird only has 2 rollers in it, and that is the smaller one of the 2. But at 45,000, that's currently what we definitely could have bought the other one money wise, but really want to try to save as much money or not spend out as much money as possible. So for the current time being, you know, we are just going to use the AI for the rolling out there for the most part anyway, or at least where we can, when we can, and gonna use up a little bit of money hiring Earl from down the road there, you know, put him in the old tractor and getting in a little bit of extra work as we go. We do have to actually start planting with our head instead of just planting the outer edges like we did here, but we'll get that going better. Gonna leave a few tire tracks in the field, not that that's the end of the world, you know. Sweet, this should end us right in front of the exit, so that's gonna work out. And then we will be headed off to that field next. So get that pull that up. We can click that off. I definitely like the way that this one unfolds for sure. See if we can get out ahead of the old school bus here without a T-boning us. Alright, there we go. Take a good look at the roller. Getting in a little bit of work. Cleaning up that edge of the field there. Seems to be doing just fine with that setup. Obviously not a huge roller, not a huge tractor. Alright, let's roll this in here. Deploy the wings. Great. This field, that's the debate. What do we plant in here? Soybeans would be nice. Sugar beets would make a lot of money. Not gonna have a lot else to do with sugar beets though. Sorghum is quick and could get us a little bit of money, though we can't really do much with sorghum. Let's just go ahead and do soybeans. We know we can run soybeans in our bioplastics, and the bioplastics making us quite a bit of money. So whatever we can get running there is going to be a winner. Yeah. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Are we not turned on? Fire that up. Soybeans, yes. Liquid fertilizer, we're good. Though we're probably going to run out. There we go. Now we're in business. Getting the soybeans in the field. Again, anything that we can do to turn around and keep our bioplastics running is a winner. We will have the corn over there for our for kind of our grain mill, grain bakery, if you will, our corn tortilla shop, really is what it is. It doubles also as wheat bread, but those are pretty much the only two things we're going to try to run out of there are going to be wheat bread and or corn tortillas. Eventually it's just going to be a corn tortilla shop, probably not even going to run wheat, but whole wheat bread and corn tortillas are what we're going to turn out of that one, just because it is a little bit of a different product than what we get out of the base bakery. Gives us a use for corn, like farming corn. Corn could also go in our bioplastics, so that's a great winner. Corn going to be a thing for us for sure. Classic farming. Alright, let's see. This one we should be able to actually just pull right through. Winner. Probably just a touch more. And then we'll drop that down. Get this one underway. We are looking at just under 9.5, so 23, we'll call it 23 acres, 22 acres, something like that. Probably not going to have all the fertilizer on board we need here, as we are down to 19%. But we are going to give it a go and see just what we can get out of it. For now, stretch it as far as we can go. Getting in some work. Things are working out fairly well with the new setup. That last planter that we had, being a mod, obviously makes everything super easy. Makes everything super easy. And it's great for when you're putting in huge fields, especially solo, stuff like that. But definitely wanted to give the Plains and Prairies planters, cedars, planters, all of that a shot. See how it all, works. If we like the new equipment, you never know what you might like unless you give it a shot. As far as equipment goes, there's a lot of equipment in the game. Sometimes you go on paper, it's not necessarily better. I do have to say I like this planter a lot, as long as you're not looking for direct drill. This one is not going to direct drill, so if there's a downside to it, it's that it does seem to hold quite a bit of fertilizer, quite a bit of seed. I think the seed gonna go, as far as you could want it. Seed's definitely gonna outlast your fertilizer. Fertilizer tanks could be bigger, but then you can always get, there are tractors too that have tanks on them. In fact, I think that'll probably be a direction that we'll start to look with this one, or putting an extra tank on. I'm not sure. We might be able to get rid of the front weight on this tractor and do some kind of tank up front. Wouldn't be bad. Would keep us out in the field a little longer. So we definitely have options and things to look at there. But for now, it's doing okay. Definitely a hassle when you have to go back for refills. And I don't know that we currently have the kind of money we need to we got off the fence. I don't think we have the money we currently would need to go out and buy like a tanker just for refilling in the field. So for now, sadly, we will have to run back and forth, which is always a pain. But we knew we were going to be giving up convenience, going to realistic levels of supply. But I do have to say I'm liking it so far. And realistically, that's part of what you got to deal with, is refilling things either in the field or what your drive time is there. We could just buy like a cheap tank trailer and drive it out here, but to be honest, we don't even have a tractor that's gonna run it super fast or anything like that. We have fertilizer in bulk. We could just run a pallet of fertilizer or something out here in the pickup, probably. Would also be an option. For now. One pallet of fertilizer, pallet or two of fertilizer can't cost us too much. To run out here to the field might be easier than driving the whole rig back to the farm. I don't know. Sad part is we already have fertilizer pot in bulk. That's the thing. If we don't want to spend any money at all, I think we're just going to have to drive the rig back to the farm and refill up. Not going to be able to quite get in. I don't know, we got about 45 and 25 if we're just doing rough numbers. 70, probably 65 acres. We'll just minus 5. I mean, it's a little more than that, but somewhere in that 65 acre range on the, was the demand. We didn't quite get that coverage out of it. Probably could have stretched it out a bit further if I'd paid a little more attention. I do have to say, I absolutely dig the look of the planter, though. This could be my favorite new planter, even though it's not the most versatile planter. But it does a great job. Yeah, we just need a tank. We just need a tank to extend its range a little bit. And that wouldn't be bad. I mean, if you can plant 50 acres, this thing will take down 50 acres without having a problem. That's not bad, at that rate. Well, this is not running out as fast as I thought it would. So I think I will get this run down one way or another and then be back with you. Emptied out and headed down the road, so that is about where we got, about halfway through that field, not quite. And we are out, so definitely covers over 50 acres, making zero complaints from me then. I mean, you can't complain with that for realistic limits. That's pretty darn good. So we are going to head back with it and refill the fertilizer. Gives us a chance to kind of see here the progress that our roller gentleman is out there making. Earl working the roller, doing decent, about half that field out of the way, which is nice while we get other things done, as we do have a few things to get to yet this month. Trying to make the most of our time here early in the month before the weather comes in. No, I can't remember if it was 10. I want to say it's 10 o'clock when that weather comes in. So really trying to get in as much as we can in this morning section. So now that we have no snow in February, we are not, I don't know, we aren't going to obviously harvest anything with a decreased yield, as we have very little to harvest. So we aren't going to be doing any of that, probably. I think we'll just go ahead and go over to our second entrance to the drive, second driveway. Swing it out wide here. There we go. Seeds we don't need. Fertilizer we do. Are we getting, there we go, liquid fertilizer. Like, we don't have that much, though we have enough. Let's be real, we have enough to plant it, and that's really all we need, because for now we don't have any other fields anyway. So just spending money on it just to put it in tanks doesn't make any sense. So we will just roll out with that. I suppose we do have rolling through the bush. There we go. Tally-ho. Back to the field. Alright, so I am going to run this thing back down to the field, get that thing working, and then we will go from there. Just about finished with the last swipe of the planting. Should just about finish that off. Get that folded up. We might as well get out of the field as soon as possible, which would be right there. See, actually, now we'll take this back to the farm. No point in keeping it up here. Could just leave it up here on the cattle ranch, but we might as well not have it sitting outside. That is the last of our planting season, so actually we might as well just kind of clean it up and get it put away. There, we do still have rolling. We'll have to get that field rolled in. That field, see, that's the nice thing with having the roller on the planter, is that bang bang. But we wouldn't even have the horsepower to pull anything extra right now anyway. We are just barely getting by with what we have. So that's going to be a priority. We need to look at, acquiring more fields, and bigger equipment is now going to be the thing. We do have the Ford tractor, which has a little more horsepower than this. Of course, quite frankly, it's not a lot more horsepower, and I find the tractor to be kind of cumbersome, and it is definitely slow. So those are kind of the drawbacks to having that extra 75 horsepower. It's not exactly my choice tractor there. So I don't know. We may be able to do some shifting around. It just depends on. We'll have to see where we come out after we sell some of our, or all of our goods. I mean, some of them. Though I don't know if we'll be selling bioplastics. We'll just have to see what we have in stock there. Have not looked at those numbers yet this month. Well, we could come out here and snatch this field. It's not. Oh, and our grass, I suppose, is the other one. It is not, it's not snowing yet. I do see a little bit of flurry in the sky, but it's really just overcast and not snowing yet. So maybe we try to snatch what we can off of that field, as we do need. No, we don't need to stick this there. That was the worst spot. Come on, get her moving. Not too bad. Alright, we'll bring this in here. We do need to wash it. Let's see what we can get away with. We get that there. If we jump into the mower quick and head out with that, maybe we can get that started up in the field. We may be able to get a couple of grab a couple of more things here before the weather sets in. Maybe we can have a little more progress than we thought if we get to moving quick enough. There. With this working with good. No AI. Work the headlands. Yeah, start with the headlands. Go. Okay, we'll let that make whatever mess it's gonna make, and we'll just deal with it. And then we'll jump in here. Grab the old combine quick there. Grab. We need the head. This is gonna work. This should be really super fun in this little field with the fence everywhere. And I say that totally jokingly, obviously. This could be interesting. Our equipment not really for small field. Not really for small fields. Never really intended on working anything small. We got these fields planted right off of the bat. Well, because we owned them off of the bat. They were small and they were right there. So figured we'd take advantage of what we can. If we can sneak it off here in between weather, then we might as well do that. That field not quite ready yet, but this field certainly is. Now the trick is going to be, can we even get our equipment? Getting our equipment into this field is going to be interesting in itself. We could always take out fences or trees, but we'd rather not. If we can avoid it, keep the natural environment. let's get that folded up and see if we can slam this thing by here. Let's see. There we go. If we can get the wheel by, we're gonna be good. Golden. Wait a minute, what are we doing here? Well, whatever. We want straw swath, but we don't want it until we get our self-turn here, though, or we're gonna make a mess. There we go. Alright. From here, we will now straw swath. Straw is definitely what we need off of this field, probably more so than the wheat. Even. I don't know, I guess we should take a look at a few field facts here. Or wait, this isn't even our wheat field, it's oats. Right, so we definitely need the straw. The wheat field is the one that's not done. My bad. Excuse me there. Yeah, the oats we definitely don't have a lot of use for. So we could just probably sell those. Or I suppose we could stick them through our advanced bakery. But again, that's not on the recipes that we intend on working, so probably not doing a lot there with oats currently. Definitely no horses to feed, and we're not using it as any sort of pig feed or anything, at least anytime soon. That's for sure. I think the idea with this was that we could get oats are a fast crop to grow, and we knew we were going after the cattle, and we were going to need some straw. So this is kind of just a refill of some straw, or get by with some straw for now kind of field. Well, same thing over there with the wheat. More about the straw that we're going to get off it, just so that we can keep the cattle up and going. Is the idea. Should stop just slinging that everywhere, but we are just going to try to go quick here, see if we can get this down. Check in on our grass guy. He's over there moving. Our roller is moving. So we are getting work done. Fine. Working in a small space with bigger equipment, not always the most convenient thing. It can be done, but not necessarily convenient. On the other hand, working small equipment in giant spaces is not super fun either. So get that stop dropping anytime soon. Actually swing it out fairly straight all the way to the end, so not too bad. Be a little bit of a mess to clean up. It's almost like we have straw piles in here, actually, looking around, rather than it's so short. By the time you get it really going in there, you could almost put these just in big piles. Get that header over all of this. Alright, there we go. Otherwise we're going to be driving through the big huge piles. But we just want to get it knocked down as fast as possible is the idea. Without the snow causing us a problem. Nice thing with a field like this, with equipment like this, is it does knock it down pretty fast. And I suppose we did not actually get good field data. We didn't turn around and look at it really very good there. What did we have? Nothing, nothing, nothing. I guess we can turn around and go old school and take a look like this. So we did have a 97% yield bonus on it. Decent, actually. And then we were, oh, what size field is this? I mean, it's most of it's field. Yeah, 4 acres or something like that. So, you know, puny, but doing all right. I mean, we're yielding 12,000 acres, or 12,000 liters, 12,000 acres, 12,000 liters of oats. It's not doing too bad. It's gonna go over 13. 13 and a half, which will make us a little bit of a sale day. Give us something. Give us a little something to take home. Can't complain there. Let's get that shut off. And how do we want to do this? Let's turn around and take a look at where we're at. Oats. Actually, oats are selling not too bad. You know, if they're on the higher side of things. If we're going to sell them for higher, we'd have to hold them for an awfully long time. So we are not going to do that. So let's turn around and figure out what do we have where we can get rid of this. That's not the right place we want our little truck. Somewhere around here. There you are. You should get the job done easy enough. Use it where we can, when we can. Pulling out the old hauler there. Better stop running over Grandma's bushes. Again, oats we have no real use for currently, so we'll bank on the fact that we can get something else going on there. Or with, you know, we'd harvest more oats. I guess what I'm saying, we'll harvest more oats before we need oats is the kicker. So we might as well just take whatever sale we can get out of this. We're just going to take it. It is going to be the thing. Good old-fashioned starting crop, harvest off and sell is what this is going to be. Money for the bank account. It's 4th of July combine. There we go. Get that. Oh, shut it off too fast. Alright, then we need to do that. And we can drop. Oh, no. Drop that. Fold that. We sink this through there. We're certainly going to try. Winner. Grab that. And we are out of here. That's going to take care of the combine for this harvest section of the show. You know, I should have just left it. We have other things to do that are a bigger priority than this. I think we have about 12 minutes before the anticipated snow starts. So trying to moisture, I don't know. It might be rain. That might not even be snow. Either way, trying to get everything we can get as fast as we can get. So we are just going to leave that there. Hurry up, just let me in. Okay, fine. I'll walk from there. Can't be far away. Grabbing gears, get across the one row. We're gonna drive over here. Oats. Should take a look. Where is our best sell price? Looks like right there. 16.8. Yeah, I don't see anything any better, so we are gonna go with that one. Little market, we know where that is. No problem, we don't need to market. Mark. We don't need to market the marker. We don't need to mark the market. This is what we don't need to do. As that is our little market, which we need to put in some more road to. Just what it is. The rest of this needs to go. Now that we get a little money going on. Let's get that in there. $27,700, so almost 28,000. Not a horrible little pick off there for being a little extra field. We might as well field money, you know. Alright, let's get these over. This is going to be the last of our corn, I believe. And from here on out, we're going to have to live on whatever little bit of stockpile that we have of wheat. We are running out of stuff to actually stick in here for now. So we'll have to figure out what it is that we're going to do there. AI worker has... what? Probably finished his task. Alright, let's not... We are kind of dependent on this actually getting done. Let's try to keep this thing moving if we can. Alright, we can't pick that up, so we might just fold it, yeah. We gotta fold it, just go 20 feet. Rollers being what they are. Keeping on top of this will certainly help us get the month done faster, but there we go. Big field is rolled. Oh, that really does not have any extra to just manhandle that thing around. Alright, so work the headlands, start with the up and downs, and then you will finish like that. Okay, go. There we go. Okay, now back to where we're at. What's going on here? This one is also done, so that's a winner. This is a huge mess. Look at what... Alright, so have it do the hedgerow on the... Don't have it do the hedgerow on that field. Copy that. Let's see. We'll see what happens on this one. Work the headlands. Start with the up and downs. Go. Okay, that's going to get that one running. We are going to start, obviously, paying out wages at this point to try to get things done. But that's what we're trying to do here. So, get as much done in as fast a time possible this month for sure. Shove those in there. Making quite a bit of money off of these corn tortillas. That's why, again, this is going to be one of our main focal points, our monthly earner. All right, this is driving me nuts. So how do I want? Let's take a look at cleaning this up, because these weeds, the weeds and pushing across here are good to be a thing. But everything costs money, so if we're gonna decorate, it costs money just to decorate. You know, we gotta be careful with what we spend, how we spend it. We know this is gonna be our kind of our sale park here, where we are our industrial park, if you will. Puts us back to $500,000. Cannot complain. That is a bonus. All right. We have here. We do have a bit that we could sell. Let's go take a look at where our plastics are selling, though. Are we taking a big dirt, taking a big bath if we sell them now? February. No, although it doesn't look like we're going to be doing any favors selling. I guess in 2 months we'd be able to sell. I don't think, honestly, we had enough there to make it worth unloading just yet. Almost out of canola, sadly. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at like 30,000-40,000 a piece, so I don't think we're gonna get a heck of a lot out of that just yet. That tractor's up there working, so that means we are gonna have to use the other one. Oh, way over here. We didn't want to do that. We're gonna have to grab that tractor and get it to work on picking things up now. So it also means we have to head off and go grab our forage wagon. So I guess we will do that quick and then check back in. Alright, so our race to the snow has kind of failed. We did turn around, not even kind of failed. We did turn around and not beat the snow. It is 10 o'clock and the snow, as predicted, is coming in. Just starting a light flurry now, 10:01 here, so we may turn around and try to get the rest, because it is going to just snow for the rest of the month, if you will. Pretty sure. So the thing is like, could turn around and snatch up this straw quick, and the grass, I guess we always have those going out there. We could turn around and just wait and pick it up at beginning of next month, though our grass isn't doing anything. I don't know what the, let's see how this pickup looks. I don't know if we lose yield on picking up straw in the snow, I guess, is the kicker. Not really. Doesn't look like it. So we might as well pick up the straw. The grass is already being cut. So we'll get this cleaned up, snow or no snow, and then just let the roller keep rolling. Let's see. You should be able to get a steering assist here. We just have one hedgerow, right? Oh, wrong width. This would be more like 16, something like that. That should work, yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Get us going on that. So we will turn around and pick up, obviously, the straw. The grass, I gotta think this guy is just about done cutting the hedgerow, which should finish that up. Some of this is going to be a pain to actually pick up, because it is right up by the fence. Well, we're definitely not going to leave the pile there, I can tell you that. Alright, we will get all of this picked up and then check back in with you. Just picking up the last little bit off of the field here. Had just a couple little spots. I think for the most part we did get the bulk of it. Again, that we're not going to turn around and worry about, spend too much time picking up little itty bitty crumbs. Good enough. We did get 80,000 liters actually of straw off of there, so that's definitely going to do the job. Hold over the cattle for a bit, which is all we needed out of that. I suppose we could drive this all the way up to the cattle barn and drop that, but I think we'll do it when we have a little faster tractor to do that with. No point in making it take as long as it needs. So we'll get this dropped in here, and then we do just have grass left to pick. Getting these red silos are awesome. They hold everything but root crops and straw is really what this one is in here for. We have our grain silos over there. I believe that's what on Tamamod, I think that one is. Pretty sure at any rate. Very popular to use, I would assume. Alright. See here. What's the deal? This would be 10. Probably not gonna get a good. I'd be shocked if we actually get a good GPS to use in this field, just because of how that hedgerow looked. But this is gonna line up at least to get us started, so we'll just see what we get. There's no way it's gonna line up for all that stuff down there. How is our yield doing? I know we're picking up in the snow. I'm not sure if cutting it. I know that moisture, rain definitely affects your yield. I gotta be honest. I don't know what that means for snow, and I don't know if that means it affects it, like in this case where it's already cut. That was a horrible idea for a turn. But where it's already cutting on the ground, I don't know if it affects the pickup of it, to be totally honest. That's not one I know. So, just gonna try to get this picked up regardless. It's already down. This is completely out of control. Alright, we'll pick up some of it. What? Okay. Interesting. It's an interesting way of cutting it, that's for sure. Somehow we'd have to clean up that hedgerow, or just not have it cut the hedgerows and just do the up and downs. Maybe on this field, I'm not sure. Looks like that field came out pretty good. Obviously, you have the roller coaster here to work through, and a fair bit to get picked up. We are also starting to run low on fuel, so that's going to become a thing. Probably should have put fuel in it before I head over here. Would have been a plan. Alright, that guy is still moving. We're getting a lot of things done in a short amount of time. But I think with that, I'm going to turn around and keep going at this. Turn around and get these cleaned up. And then I will check back in with you when I get a full wagon or get a clean field. Whatever happens first. Here we are, just about getting full with the forage trailer here. Forage wagon, 240,000. getting up there, we might be able to swing one more down. And then when we take this one in, we are definitely going to have to grab some fuel on the way. As we can see, red flashing warning there, just about full, and we are just about out of silage additive as well from what it looks. Oh no, we're not. 2%. I was gonna say 2%. This thing holds a ton though, so 2% of a ton is enough for technical terms at any rate. I think we will call it after this. Swipe across here. I'll grab some of the hedgerow while we're headed in that direction anyway. And there we go. Topped off and ready to go. So this does have to go all the way up to the cows. But as I said, we do need a fuel stop on the way. So we'll be doing that here quick. There is our fuel tank just down there on the other side of the cliff, down yonder. This fence is there for our own safety, or we definitely would be trying to jump down into the farm when possible. I think the kicker is we could almost actually leave the rest of the grass until we get better weather to pick it up, like the start of next month. We need fuel in this thing. I'll go ahead and shut that down while we're getting fuel, and we'll go over our thoughts here. So the thought process is, now we have at least a good chunk of grass up off the field. We can go throw that into our industry or down into our drying silo and get that going for silage and hay is going to be the thought there. So that'll start working. We do know that we also need to get something over to our bakery or our grain. Not even going to call it a bakery. It's like a grain mill more so. Grain mill bakery. It's both put together, you know, kind of. But we don't have any corn to get over to the tortilla stand effectively. At the end of the day is what it's going to be. So we don't have any corn to get over there. So we are just going to be stuck running wheat bread for the time being. This trailer or tractor not winning any races. Looks like our roller should just about be getting to the end of its job, which will be nice. And I think that is pretty much going to sum up the bulk of the month. As I say, I don't think we're going to worry about picking up the rest of the grass, as the weather is starting to turn towards the worst. I think what we have figured out, last time we yielded a little over 300 and some thousand, I think it was around 340 or something like that. Looks like our yield numbers coming off of that grass field are right around the same. Whether we're picking it up in the snow or not, we definitely could clean it up in the snow, but I think just for my own personal preference, because it's kind of just getting annoying working in the snow, is that we might just pick that stuff up later. So let's see where our roller's at. We may be able to get everything done in the time that our roller is still rolling. Is the kicker, so looks like just headlands to work there. He must be coming around on one of the headlands on that side or something. Or just about, oh, last up and down maybe. Over there, so just about getting done. I guess we'll try to keep him working. We don't want to stop Earl from his roller duties either, as he is just about got all of those done in the time that we have gotten all the rest of our stuff done, which is kind of convenient. Not too bad. Oh, I wish this tractor were 10 or 15 miles an hour faster, and it would be a winner. Definitely a bit of a hassle on these longer drives. So that's something we may have to look into soon. Mud getting, or our dirt out here is turned into mud. Alright, we will jump in, check our production, our fermenting silo. Everything is now up and running. Good, good, good. Hay is drying. Grass into silage, and that is also happening. So winter, we do have straw. We have a little bit of backup straw over there now, and for outgoing, yeah, we were getting down there. 100,000 in hay, 550,000 in silage. So yeah, definitely needed to get this thing back up and running before we run out. We do have a good supply there for the cattle, which is all we're really doing, but also building a stockpile, as we know that we will be spending much more of that on a lot of things. And if nothing else, extra product to sell would not hurt us. And grass is not the thing to sell. So if we end up with way too much silage in there or something, we can sell it. Silage always sells for a nice amount of money when you have a lot of it anyway. Just about getting done there. I think actually we may just be able to get this bad boy back to the farm. We might not even have to pick that up, although I think he's gonna go all the way around the field. We could almost probably get those done in the time that he's doing that. So let me run back to the field and we'll see where we're at. Alright, so we are jumping back in the field here. That worker Earl down there is still running the roller. So we are going to turn around and go ahead and try to pick up. Looks like we have 5 more rows here and a bit of a head row to turn around and get picked up. So we will turn around and do that quick, and then we should be done with most things, and I think we'll just kind of check in at that point. Alrighty, so here we are swinging down the last line of the field. I guess there's a little pile there that we missed a little bit. We got most of it pretty clean anyway. I mean, especially considering the cut job that he did on the hedgerow on the other field there. So we've got it mainly cleaned up and happy enough with it in the snow here that we can always turn around and clean it up a little better on a future pickup. Maybe we'll bring a windrower in here or something like that at some point, just to get all the little stuff cleaned up. The nice thing with the grass fields is, you know, you can stack it and just pick it up on your next go through the field. It's not going to hurt anything. So getting most of this, the roller man Earl is done. Conveniently, he finished up as we had about 2 more rows left to go. So not bad timing there for Earl. Well, we got all the rest of our field work done. Just kind of clean up a little bit of a mess that is in this corner, but honestly with the snow, just kind of had enough of all of that. There we go. Winner 120 with the 260 that we already pulled. Yeah, see, we have a line there, but honestly we're just gonna let that stack. It's not even enough to worry about picking up. So we did get the 260, I think it's 260 and 120, 380. Yeah, so got to be right around the same yield. I don't think the snow affected much there. Not too worried about actually running this up to the grass. at this point, the ventilated or the vent silo, as we just got that up and running. So I think we will turn around and go ahead and park that there. Get this set to get that out of there. We obviously have to bring the lawnmower back, and then we also have to bring back the roller. Take a look at where we came out real quick. We did turn around and harvest a little field there, but our big goal was to turn around and get the 3 fields planted, which we did. Looks like we're going to get, we still have another fertilizer stage to go down on that, so we should have a good 95, 97, 98%, probably 97%, yield bonus off of all of them. So it looks like the fields went in decent. We got everything sold, swapped out our planter, and bought a roller this month as well. So we did pick up new equipment. And with all of that, we are up some money, even though we didn't have a ton to sell, but we are up, I don't know, I think it's like $10,000-$15,000 all told in its entirety after buying the new equipment. But we can now get in complete fields. So from start to finish, we are now at least planter capable. We do not have a seeder yet, but we can plant fields, and we can go forward from here. So we're, I think with the rest of the month, we're really just looking at snow and not great conditions to do anything with. We certainly wouldn't be harvesting anything. Our cows are good. We still have corn flour in the bakery. We're just going to call it the bakery for now, or the grain bakery, whatever. We have the ability to continue to produce corn tortillas. That's what I know. So the tortilla shack, if you will, is still up and running. So we're just going to let that go. We're not going to worry about putting any wheat in that. And we have enough stuff to keep productions up and running in the bioplastics factory for now. So we are just going to run that. Oh wow, this tractor also running on fumes. So definitely have to get some fuel in this one when we get it home. But I think for the most part, we are looking at this as a solid win. We made a little bit of profit and got some fields in, which was more than, we were, yeep. Knew that was going to happen one way or, and everything. Never mind. We'll go to the next block. Don't honk at me. You caused that. It's fine. I'll go to the next block. But we did make a little money, and we got some fields in. So it's definitely what we're going to call a win. I'm going to say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.